trying to fill 20 minutes, 15 minutes? What are you trying to get?
20, 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
But who knows?
All right.
Could be endless. You guys are interesting. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys. So I'm excited for this presentation because I've got the trolls with me tonight, and I'm sure many of you who are totally obsessed tennis players have seen some of these people play some matches on YouTube. And what's really kind of interesting, we were just talking about before we came on here for you guys, is many of the matches that these people are playing, they're more viewed than a lot of people who are incredible at tennis in the top 100 in the world, and less people are paying attention to their matches than the Tennis Troll channel. So if you don't know what the Tennis Troll channel is, it's recreational tennis. I would say maybe 3-5 on the very low end to like really high 5-0, some open type players. And they post their matches, and they're very entertaining to watch, and they're very relatable because we see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they do it in front of cameras, which is very brave, and they post it on YouTube, and many of these videos have gotten, hundreds and thousands of views. So first of all, guys, I just want to thank you so much for being on. I want to start with the Tennis Troll in the box next to me. There you go, the box next to me. How did you come up with this idea to start this channel?
Well, actually, it was probably it wasn't just my idea. It's actually Wannabe Pro's and my ideas. At the time, Wannabe Pro was living in Atlanta. He's now in Macon, but at the time we were basically neighbors, and we're brothers, and we have a really good group of folks that we hit with regularly. And Wannabe Pro is like, hey, we should maybe try putting some stuff on YouTube and just see what happens. It's more of an experiment, and if anything, it'll serve as memories because we have a really good group, a really strong core group that hit regularly, and we just wanted to, first of all, keep those memories, so it's something we can look at when we get older. And then next it was let's see what happens on YouTube. Everybody watches something on YouTube, and we'll see where it goes.
That's amazing. So Byron, you came up with this. You two are brothers. So did you see it turning into anything like it currently is? Did you expect this, or are you completely surprised?
I think Subhash, I think he's giving me a little too much credit there. I mean, everything that it's turned into was nobody's idea. That was nobody's idea. The thought was, hey, we're all getting a little bit older, and our skills are getting they're aging, and people, we want to remember when we were still playing, what we consider, maybe, better tennis. And we knew that as we aged, we were going to slow down and things like that. And, it was just, hey, let's just see what happens. None of this was planned in any way.
So when you first posted your first couple of videos, did they get any views? Did they get views right away? Or were you guys posting for a little while and getting like just your family watching the video? What's kind of like the growth cycle of this channel to where now, every time you guys post a match, people are definitely checking it out?
Well, I remember I think like one of the first videos was Subhash, my brother, and I think it was either Justin or myself, and it was just clips. We just kind of took the best points. It was like a highlight reel. And I think it really just started there. And then folks in the comments started saying, well, no, hold on. You're only showing the best shots. Everybody's got 4 or 5 of these every match. Let's see more. They wanted more exposure. They wanted more vulnerability. And I thought it was great just showing the highlights. But I think Subhash said, no, we're gonna give them the real thing.
All right, now down below me is Mep, the most exhausting player. And his name's Ben. And actually, I was out there filming the other day. Ben was out there torturing somebody, some poor soul out there. And so the first time I saw the Tennis Troll channel, it was the Troll versus you, Ben. Was this the first video to really go like what you would call viral? Like that video got a lot of views. Was that the coming out party, guys?
Yeah, I would say it definitely, MEP's video definitely put us on a map. It was probably 2 videos. It was Ben's, MEP's, and Justin's, the 50-year-old. I had
I
lost
think that,
to Justin in that match, and I think we titled it, can a 50-year-old beat a Division One player? Because that's what
Yes.
happened. And
Mhm.
so with those two videos, that's I think that's how the popularity started to grow.
you had a really big hit with the Brian video as well.
Yeah.
The
That's true. That's true.
yeah. So it was just like this level of like attainable tennis. Maybe people would watch. We were trying to figure it out, and I think Brian's video shot up really big as well. He was very athletic.
So we had a really good start.
Yeah.
There was definitely some potential, and we were just having fun doing it. And whether regardless if people were watching or not, we were going to continue because it raises the ante when you're playing a match.
Yes,
Nobody
that's
wants
what-
to lose on YouTube.
That's what I want to talk about more. But before we get into that, one thing I'm curious: did you know each other before, Ben and Subhash? Did you guys know each other before you played the match, or was it like a league match and you just asked, "Hey, I'm going to do this match. You mind?" Did you know each other's style, or was that just completely first time you guys saw each other play?
So I knew Byron before. I didn't even know that he had a brother. But Byron and I had played a couple times about 3 years prior to when my videos first hit. We had played for USTA, and frankly, Byron won handily each of the two times that we played. It was like the serious version of Byron of wannabe pro playing tennis. It was closer to like could have been pro than wannabe. So, but I didn't know Subhash, and he just reached out to me. We were each on a tennis ladder, and he said, "Hey, do you want to play?" I said, "Sure," because that's usually how I respond. And he said, "Oh, by the way, I have this YouTube channel, and I like to film the matches. Are you open to that?" And again, thinking nothing of it at the time, I said, "Sure, why not? Let's give it a shot." I've never seen myself play an entire match on video before. It could be interesting. It could be dreadful. Turned out it was a combination of the two.
That's right.
So yeah, you are now, I would say, very beloved. I would say almost everybody's a fan. You might get some hateful comments every now and then, but I would say for the most part, when I read the comments, it's like the legend is back, Mep is another, like it's all very supportive. But I think the first time you played, it was not supportive, right? I mean, it was kind of like, oh, I would destroy him or whatever. Like it kind of was negative, then turned positive. Am I right on that?
I think there was a mix. I think it has certainly trended more positively over time. We mentioned vulnerability earlier, and I think that one of the things that came across in most of the videos is that I'm pretty comfortable showing myself as vulnerable. And I think when people got a hold of the human side of me rather than just the tennis player side, they maybe felt a little bad, like, geez, this guy seems like an all right guy. I feel bad criticizing him as harshly as I did in the past. Or maybe they just kind of spent themselves in the first couple of videos with their negative comments and they ran out of new material. Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into what I want to really talk about. And so, people play league matches, which is a lot of pressure, and people get very nervous and tense. And one of the biggest things, I sent out a survey about with TennisCon. What's your number one frustration? And I would say coming in second place was, well, I just can't play the same that I play in practice when I play a match. I just don't feel like I play my game. So, and that's just in a regular match, not putting a camera on the match and having, everybody watching it. So when you guys first started to do these videos, were you nervous at all? When you put the camera on, were you nervous? Did you feel the camera? Were you nervous? Were you very aware that the camera's watching everything? Or do you guys just all have the personality of like, well, whatever. Let's just go one by one. Let's go from the troll, then down to wannabe pro, and then over to Ben.
So for me, the camera didn't really bother me. If anything, I actually feel like I played better under pressure. I feel like I played better when the crowd's against me. So I actually enjoy playing with the camera because it makes me focus and makes me want to really perform well. Now, I will say, as the channel has progressed, what does get me a little nervous now is not the camera, But if I hit a bad shot, I'm thinking, oh gosh, the comments. People are going to respond to that shot in the comments. So that gets me nervous. But the camera itself, I'm fine with.
Okay, we'll come back to that. That's very interesting. Okay, go ahead, Wannabe Pro.
Well, I mean, when we started pre-Ben, the views were so low and nobody cared all that much, right? It wasn't that big a hit. And I enjoyed the cameras because I knew, look, I'm getting to play with my brother, right? That's a lot of fun. And I was looking for that highlight shot so that I could trash talk with him and have video evidence of it that I could bring up at Thanksgiving and Christmas and, use it again and again. And so for me, the camera excited me because that was documentation that I beat up on my brother or whatever it may have been, right? So for me, it was almost motivating. But then, yeah, I mean, the views got really big, and you think about some of these views. I mean, some of these, we'll throw a video out there and it might have 30, 40, 50,000 views. I mean, you compare that to, like, I know someone told me, Arthur Ashe Stadium has like 23,000 seats, and it's like, imagine that many people watching you. Imagine you got a stadium of folks watching you. And then you start thinking about that, and maybe you get nervous, or maybe you want to show out a little bit more. And I don't know. I think I'm the kind of guy that when we're playing at Candler Park, we're playing at some of these places in Atlanta, I'm hoping there's some people waiting and watching, and I can, sling a crazy shot, and nobody remembers who wins or loses. They remember the cool shots.
That's very interesting. And, that's another thing too. Not only are there more people watching many videos than can even be on the court at the US Open, which is crazy to think about, but I'm sure, you're on the court, you hear the cheers. That's one thing, but it's probably just such a, overwhelming sound that you can't really pick out too many individual. You guys have comments that people are watching, and those comments stay there, and they're there for years. So where if you're at a match and somebody says, oh, you stink, or what was that, which they, people don't do much anyway, but I mean, it's not the same as somebody writing something like, oh, I either love the way you play, or, oh, you're a joke, and, I would destroy you, or whatever. And so it's really interesting when you think about it. Okay, Ben, what about you? First time playing, no big deal, or were you a little kind of like, I've never really done this with a camera there, and very aware of it?
I think for me, I was blissfully ignorant of the ramifications. Subhash may have felt differently, but I didn't really have any expectation that the video was gonna really go anywhere, much less be viewed by 250,000 people. So I thought, oh, this is the kind of thing. Well, maybe a couple of people on YouTube will see it. Surely Subhash and I will see it. Maybe some of our friends, and I can take a look at it after the fact and evaluate how the points went, what I might have been able to do differently, what I did well. So I took a pretty analytical approach. And I guess over time, I've really just gotten pretty accustomed to it. It kind of feels weird to play without a camera now.
That is really, really very interesting.
And if I may add to that, like,
Yes.
Ben, I think not only did you have to deal with the camera, I mean, you were the birthplace of the forums, right? Then all the forums started chiming in. It went way beyond just the YouTube comments, and it went to forums online, and then there were all kinds of like Reddits and all kinds of what was it, Tennis Warehouse forums, and all kinds of stuff that created this like controversy and like cult following of Ben.
Yeah.
What are some of the most memorable comments, where they're positive or negative? Is there anything any of you can pick up, whether it's about yourself or another player on the channel?
I remember Ben had I don't even know if it's still up or what. Somebody said Ben is the Napoleon Dynamite of tennis. To me, that was just so good.
That is really good. What about you, Ben? Is there any comment that either like you loved, or like, if I saw that person, I'd punch him in the face?
Well, going back to what Byron said for a second, people that know me outside of a context would say that the Napoleon Dynamite resemblance does not end there. One of my previous real estate agents was like, you're like exactly like Napoleon Dynamite. I was like, Why, thank you. I am that awesome. Somebody said, how does somebody get to every ball who moves like the corpse of Ozzy Osbourne or something along those lines? I thought, wow, that's a interesting comparison there. And what people don't realize, and maybe you're going to get into this a little bit later, but I'll touch on it now. Everybody looks slower on video than you do in real life. So does the ball. I don't care who you are. It's much different in real life than it appears to be on video. So yes, you can say I don't hit with a lot of pace, and that is true. But I'm telling you, in real life, it's a different story than what you see from me or from any one of us on tape. I don't know why that is, but it's definitely a true phenomenon.
And to your point, when you go to a pro match and you see a pro match live in person, you're like, oh my goodness, it's so much faster than it was on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although it's still pretty damn fast on TV now too. But you are right. Like I had a guy come who he's such a nice guy. He's actually quit tennis now. And you might have been one of the reasons.
Did he play me? Yeah.
Yes. So this guy is a super nice guy. Tall guy, massive kick serve. Like, I mean, the kicks, he's rated between 3.5 and 4.0, but his kick serve was every bit of 5.0. And I think most people would take games to figure it out. Ben figured it out within a game or two, and almost every ball was coming back. And then the other thing is people don't appreciate that when he goes and pushes some of his shots, when he connects, the ball is moving quite fast and very low, and it's a very tough ball to deal with, more than it looks like on camera. And one thing that you've added to your game, I've noticed, especially when you played him that day, is you've definitely added the other dimension where you're now not as hesitant to take offense and even go to the net and finish points, which you've gotten much, much better at. So that's the next thing I want to get into is watching yourself on video and playing, besides the entertainment aspect of it. What do you guys think it's done for you as far as improvement? What are you learning? What are you seeing from a tactical standpoint? Like, has it helped your game at all watching you play all these matches? What do you think all the benefits are that you've seen from actually putting yourself on camera all the time?
For me, I didn't realize how little I come to the net when I first started on the channel. I thought I came in, fairly regularly, but then looking at the video, I see, wow, there's a lot of short balls, a lot of good shots that I hit that I wouldn't move into the net with. I would just stay back. And, that's something I've been working on. It's actually been helping me getting a stronger attack game and knowing when to come in, seeing myself on the video, seeing how my opponent reacts. I try to take a mental note of that and use it in the next match.
Cool. How about you, Wannabe Pro?
I can't think of a whole lot of changes I've made since we started doing this, to be honest.
I think you've gotten worse. No, I'm just
I think I have gotten worse, but I'm going to get worse with age, and I think I have to up my trash talk every week because some of the jokes have already been recorded, and now I can't use that one again. And so I've got to come up with new ways to offend my opponent and just create that shock factor for them. And so, I don't think my game itself has improved, but my trash talking certainly has.
The trash talk has improved. Okay. How about you, Ben? What do you think?
I think one thing that I noticed in some of the matches that I've tried to adjust is I would kind of come out of a shot before I had finished hitting it because I was so eager to get back into position that I wouldn't fully finish the shot. And if I were to have fully finished the shot, the probability that I had to even hit another shot would go down. So I try to remind myself when I go out there every time now to stay in the shot until you've completed the stroke rather than kind of getting out of it before you perform the entire motion. And that has helped to some degree. And Subash touched on it as well. Obviously I don't come to the net that much, although I probably do more now than I did 2 years ago. But I realized that under the right circumstances, it is pretty effective for me. And seeing it on tape is just a reminder to, do that more often. Be more willing to take chances because you're more likely to have a good chance at ending the point that way. one way or the other.
Mhm, mhm. So watching all your videos, I don't even think we'll ask Byron this question because it doesn't seem to care about improving. I don't know. Just kidding. Watching these videos, do you guys now have, whether it's a technical thing that you want to improve, a tactical thing, like going into next year and continue to play online? Is there something that you've noticed on your videos where like, I would like to, you know, master this shot or play tougher in these situations? What have you picked up on that you're trying to improve off of watching yourself?
I guess I'll start. For me, it's I really want to work on getting in a better trophy position with my serve. My serve has gotten a lot better this year, but I noticed there's a few minor adjustments that I can do to get more consistency and get a little more into the serve. And I feel like, as we all get older, getting faster, getting quicker, as Byron said, may be more of a challenge. But there's one thing that we can control is probably the serve. And that was something that I want to focus on going into 2023.
I'd love to give you a lesson. We should do a lesson because I've actually looked at your serve on video and slowed it down. There's a number of things that I can show you and work with you on. I know we're always
all
so
for it.
busy. Yeah, but maybe
No,
we
I
can
don't
get
want you to. I saw your lesson with Ben, and his serve got so much better
Did it?
the next time I played him. It became a weapon. It was a weakness, and no, I'd rather you not teach Tennis Troll how to hit a serve too. Ben got dangerous after that. It was like when Happy Gilmore learned how to putt. I mean,
Okay.
it was all of a sudden he just got dangerous.
Wow. Okay.
What about you, Ben? Is there something that you're looking to improve?
Yeah, and it's a little bit abstract, but what I would like to improve upon is having a better sense for what the ball is going to do when it comes off my racket. I mean, it may sound silly, but like not feeling like you have to watch your shot land or come close to landing before acting on it. Just being better, more in touch with where it's going to go, like right off the racket, and being able to move to the position that's going to put you in the best place to try to end the point, or at least take, go on offense.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then one more follow-up question for you.
Sure.
Why do you think you're so hard to play? What is it that you're doing with the ball? Is there anything that you're picking up on mentally to try and get in someone's head? Like, what is it like when someone steps on the court with you? What do you think it's like for them, and what are you trying to make it feel like when they play you?
I think for starters, when they see a lefty, they're like, well, crap, I don't play that many lefties, probably. So that's an advantage for me right off the bat. They're not going to know necessarily, unless they're familiar with me, that stamina is a strong point of my game. But as the match goes along and they're like, man, I've been playing so many long points and this guy gets quite a few balls and he doesn't seem tired at all. And I didn't come out for this,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd just stroke a couple winners, knock this guy out and go home. And that's not the way it goes most of the time. Sometimes it does, but I'm just trying to subtly impose my will on my opponent. And oftentimes the way I do that is just kind of being stoic and not really responsive to too many things that happen on the court, whether they be good or bad, and just not allow my opponent to see into my psyche whatsoever, and kind of make them have to think about what's on this guy's mind. Is he frustrated? Is he feeling good? I can't get a read on this guy. And if they're spending mental energy on that, that's presumably taking away from the mental and physical energy they're able to expend trying to win the match.
I think that's so good. I mean, right there, that's worth the price of TennisCon, what you just said, because that's one of the toughest things to do, what you just said. And it's so true. When I've watched you play a lot of matches on YouTube, I'm a troller, and I've seen you beat players pretty handily. I've seen you in dog fights, and I've seen you sometimes, not often, but sometimes, get it handed to you on that day. And
Yeah.
to your credit, you never start to get frustrated. You do exactly what you just said you did there. And so is it really that you're just like got this mindset of, well, I'm just going to play my game and whatever happens, and if they hit their shots, they hit their shots, and that's all it is, and I really get unemotional? Or are you sometimes in your head dropping some F-bombs, getting frustrated, feeling out of sorts, and like mentally throwing the racket into the net, or is that not even happening emotionally for you?
I guess the main situation in which that occurs is I do get frustrated about environmental factors that are beyond my control. Like if there's a lot of lets or just a bunch of junk on the court, or if the quality of the court itself is poor, or if anything that I can't control around me is bothering me, that can get to me internally because I can't control it. But anything that I'm doing that is less than what I'm capable of doing, I just kind of set that to the side, because I say to myself, you are capable of playing better than this. You have it within you to do that. Play that way.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. That is great. Oh, I just know you just drive people insane. Good stuff. Well, I just wanted you guys to be part of TennisCon because I love watching your content. I feel that you guys are very brave putting your matches on video. You all, whether you appreciate it or not, have a unique outlook to where all of you were just kind of like, yeah, just put the video on, let it go. I don't care. I mean, that's not normal. And I do think that for everybody out there, not that you have to put your matches on YouTube, but if you guys do start to film yourself hitting a ball, film yourself practicing, film a match, you will definitely learn a lot because it's there. And don't look at it and go, oh, I just don't like the way I look. You can look at things that you don't like and you can change them, piece by piece. And you guys are the definitely living proof of that. And so I just wanted to thank you guys. I definitely want you to be part of TennisCon every year. I'd love to make more videos with you guys too. So thank you so much. Any parting thoughts before we end tonight's conversation?
I'll just say that I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of TennisCon. You have an amazing lineup, and I look forward to seeing a bunch of the other presentations as well. It's always good to spend time with you, Pete, and you, Subash, and you, Wannabe. The best place to spend that time is on the court, so let's all get out there again together soon. But thank you for this chance to talk with you guys tonight. I learned a lot.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, Yeah, thanks for letting us be on TennisCon. Excuse me, I want to say I've been tuning in for about the past 3 years, kind of when we started Tennis Show. That's when I learned about TennisCon as well through you. And yeah, it seems like your lineup gets stronger and better every year. And this year, we saw the preview of who's all on there, and it's quite amazing. So thanks for the invite, for letting us be part of it this year. I don't know if we, our resume isn't anywhere close to the resumes of a lot of people you have on TennisCon, but we love to be a part of it. So thanks.
Yeah, and I think people can relate and learn a lot from you guys. So I that's why I wanted you guys on. Byron, you got a one-liner? What do you got? What do you got to finish?
No, Pete. Thanks for what you do, not just for internet tennis, but just what you do for our sport. I mean, you're a great champion, and our sport is lucky to have someone like you on it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, checks are in the mail, boys. Great job, guys. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's presentation. Make sure that you watch more of our videos from TennisCon. And if you guys want to see this presentation over and over again, don't forget to pick up your lifetime access pass. So then you can have this presentation forever, as well as all the other 41s. So thank you, guys. We'll call it there. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other out on the tennis court.
Cool. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, everyone.